Happy Halloween, folks, and welcome to our second annual Ghost Story Slam, where real people share real ghost stories. This year, I'm joined by fellow podcasters Danielle Mater of Geist and Betsy Sodaro of A Funny Feeling. And now stay tuned for part one of our Liminal Mic Ghost Story Slam. Enjoy.
Happy early Halloween. Welcome to the Philosophical Research Society. My name is Alex. You are seated in part of a 91-year-old esoteric Los Angeles historical institution. We are a 501c3 arts nonprofit now, and we do a wide range of arts programming from classes, lectures, and workshops dedicated to the original spiritual and philosophical, metaphysical, occult foundations of this space, as well as everything from dance workshops and puppetry performances, comedy nights, and as a film programmer, I do all sorts of experimental 16mm cult stuff, world cinema, for all sorts of stuff. But tonight, I am very, very excited to welcome back our good friends, SpectreVision, for the second annual, hopefully annual, Ghost Story Slam, the Liminal Mic tonight. I know that they've curated an incredible panel as well as an incredible group of storytellers. I was one of them last year, closed the night with a story about something that happened in this closet. And you can ask me afterwards. But let's welcome to the stage SpectreVision co-founder Danielle Noah.
Hello. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Raise your hand if you believe in ghosts. Raise your hand if you've had a ghost experience. Raise your hand if you don't believe in ghosts and you think this is all a bunch of bullshit. All right, good. Yeah. This is our second annual Ghost Story Slam. This is sponsored by SpectreVision Radio, which is the podcast network of the company that I founded with Elijah Wood. We make films. We made Mandy in Color Out of Space and A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night. We've, in recent years, expanded into other areas, all to explore the liminal, the esoteric, the uncanny, the weird. We've launched recently a comic book series called High Strangeness. The first issue is currently out, and the second is coming out in a couple of weeks. We've got over 50 podcasts on our network that explore all manner of weirdness, from ghost stories to cryptid sightings to UFOs to consciousness and psychedelics and the occult. If it's weird, we're covering it. The kind of overall mission here is that we want to create a kind of safe space for people to talk about the paranormal without feeling like they're going to be ridiculed or ostracized. If you know, you know. And it is real, which is very hard to wrap your head around until you've had an experience. And you're going to hear from a bunch of people who have had experiences tonight. For starters, there's going to be just a little supportive panel right here, which will be consisting of me and Danielle Mater. Come on up. Who is the host of Geist, which is an incredible podcast on our network. And Betsy Sodaro from A Funny Feeling. Come on up.
Hello.
Yeah. Let's get scared. My hair better be white by the end of this. And I'm like,
Keep going.
catatonic. Scared to death.
So before, we're going to bring up our storytellers in a minute, but I just want to talk to you guys for a bit. So how did each of you get interested in the paranormal?
You gonna go first?
Do you want
Go first.
I've always just kind of been into ghosts and stuff. And I think being raised Catholic kind of pushed me into it. Being like, there is a devil.
Oh, yeah.
There's a Holy Ghost, and then just kind of being like, okay. And then I've always loved just Halloween and everything and ghost stories and stuff ever since I was a little kid. Yeah. Yeah.
I think I'm exactly the same. Since I was a child, I found ghost stories to be the most warm, comforting blanket. I'd get more excited for Halloween than I would Christmas.
Yeah.
And just been obsessed with ghost stories my entire existence. I think I was first introduced to the story of Ichabod Crane through Disney, and that was amazing. And then I saw The Exorcist when I was 8, which I wouldn't suggest, but it was really amazing.
It's powerful.
You didn't find it too scary?
Well, I did find it really scary, but the next day I watched it again, and I found it actually quite funny, but I don't really know if I've ever watched it again.
What?
I don't think I have. I think
What?
I think it did affect me that much.
My daughter for years was like, when can I watch The Exorcist?
Oh, yeah.
Because it had been mythologized to her and her friends as the
Right,
scariest
right, yeah.
movie ever made. And I'd be like, not yet. And then eventually they just snuck off and watched it.
That's how I watched
Yeah.
it. Yeah. It
And
was
she
at a
came back to
sleepover.
it. She wanted to let me know it was hilarious.
If you watch it during the day, it's hilarious.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you watch it at night, it's petrifying.
So I know the answer already, but they don't. Has either of you had a paranormal or a ghost encounter in your life?
Yes.
Yes, multiple.
Whoa, only one for me, man. And that was good. I didn't
one was
even
enough?
want it.
I've had multiple.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Can you just give us a thumbnail of each of your experiences?
Yes, I was in the mountains at Keystone, which is a pretty fun ski resort, staying in a condo. And my sister and her family, they all went to bed, and I was getting ready for bed, and I hear in the living room, and I think it's my brother-in-law. I go out, nobody's there.
Oh, that's
And
gross.
I'm like looking around. It was nasty. I'm looking around. I hear it again coming from a dark corner. I start shaking. I run to the bathroom to go get ready for bed. And the whole time I'm like, oh, I don't have my phone. I got to text Marcy. Like, something spooky's happening to me. And then I came back out, like, prepared. And I was, like, standing, looking kind of in the area. And I hear it again. And then it goes, and then I ran to bed.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Did you find out anything about the history of where you were?
No, I know.
You were just done.
A psychic once told me that it was nature. Is that what she said? Or alien? Alien.
Wait, how did you confuse aliens with nature?
It was either aliens or nature.
See, I love this stuff, but I don't want it to happen to me. Yeah. How about you?
I'm a lot. I have a lot. I mean, just traveling through and interviewing people in paranormal locations about the stories that they've had. Recently, I just went to a really haunted mansion. I'm from Canada, and I'm from Toronto, and there is a show on the Discovery Plus called "We Bought a Funeral Home," and it's basically a show about people that bought a funeral home and turned it into an 18,000 square foot mansion, and it is extremely haunted. And me, actually, and one of the storytellers was there not too long ago, and some really wild and crazy things happened. And as soon as you went in there, the entire house just felt like it didn't want you there. Oh. It was really strong, and we sat down and we did some EVP work, as you do, and we were just kind of getting a lot of get-outs, and we're getting a lot of leaves, get-outs, and then we decided that it would be a really good time to go to bed. And
In the house?
oh yeah, no, we slept there. I'm not I don't scare easy, but I was scared. Like, it was scary. And in the morning we came down, and it was weird because the entire house had then changed vibes, but we'd found a lot of things destroyed in the room that we had gone down into. So the most notable was that there was a light that was I don't know, like a pot light. And it had been ripped out of the ceiling, and it was lying on the floor. And we were just like, this is weird. So I texted the homeowner. I'm like, is this normal? And she's like, no, I glued that in, like, that's glued in. But it had been ripped out of the ceiling. The house was really mad. And we were in this, it's so hard to describe this house, but the kitchen is on this level, and we were on a lower level. And both Nikki and I were standing there, and we heard somebody actively walking in the basement. And it was serious. It was a serious mission. They had this gym, and you could just hear footsteps across the bottom. And
you
that's just
stayed in there
for 2 days.
Whoa, I thought it was one.
No,
okay.
for 2 days I stayed
Shit.
there. But like, I mean, I do crazy things like that. Like I watched the Blair Witch Project, and the next day I went camping by myself. I don't make very good decisions.
In nature?
It was just
It
nature.
was probably nature.
It was probably
I'm
just
pretty sure
nature.
it was nature that got you.
Nature's scary.
I think it was nature that moved that light.
Well, that's what I always say. Like, so I live in Laurel Canyon. I live in a haunted house, as
Yes.
my friends know. And but it's like our house is up against this little wooded area, and I've lived in cities all my life. I've never lived near a wooded area. And my thing is like, I don't know if it's a cougar or a banshee. It's all alien to me. It's all nature. So actually,
Yeah.
we're kidding you, but it is all part of nature. It's just there's some elements of nature that we're not familiar with. So what you said you've always found ghost stories sort of warm, like a warm blanket.
Yeah.
What is it about ghost stories that has that comforting feeling?
I don't know. I think it's probably just like a personal thing. I think we've got a room full of people that probably find it as a personal thing, but there is just something comforting about the fireplace, the candlelit rooms, the history. I think that it all ties in together. I don't know why. I can fall asleep when I can't sleep at night. I listen to ghost stories. There might be something wrong with me.
No, you're doing fine.
Are you?
You're doing fine.
Like,
I
I'm
think
normal?
It's
Okay.
so fun. It's
It
kind
is.
of just very much like, well, why not? In this kind of world, why not believe in ghosts and Bigfoot?
What-
and
like,
stuff?
the world
I'm
we
still
live in, yeah.
Weird out about fairies.
What?
I don't know if I believe in fairies.
I can't
yet.
do haunted dolls.
Gross.
I can't do
No.
haunted dolls.
No. Disgusting. My niece got like a
Disgusting.
really old doll for Christmas a couple
No.
of years ago, and every single one of us was like, "You gotta throw it away. You gotta get that out of the house. That's disgusting." She's like,
Last year we had an incredible haunted doll story.
Yeah.
What?
we
Oh,
did.
right.
Which you can
oh,
listen
yes,
to.
that's right. That's
Yeah.
right. I did hear it. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh,
"Good."
that was crazy.
All right. Well, thank you. So,
Yeah.
all right. Well, let's get started. So, our first storyteller is Marcy, also a co-host of A Funny Feeling. Come on up.
Yeah. Marcy.
Hi, I'm Marcy. Yeah, this is. I have to apologize to Betsy. Betsy is like my wife, who's had to hear this story at every dinner party that we've been to for 30 years. So she knows this one. But I'll start lying and make stuff up, so don't worry about it. Also, I'm wearing my Halloween pastels. So this happened in 2011, a few months after I moved to LA from New York. And I was living on Beechwood, which I think is a very spooky place. It's right under the Hollywood sign, so you could only imagine how much desperation is on that canyon and is and has been. So my first apartment there, I lived with an old friend from New York, Sarah, but she had a fiance who lived in the Bay Area, so she often was there. In fact, very rarely came down, only came down for work as an actress. So I was there alone all the time. And kind of having a hectic first year in LA. And I had just gotten back from a trip where I was in the woods in Oregon with a bunch of friends. And I only say that to set up that I was confused and jet lagged. So I wake up because I'm hearing someone muttering in my room. But it was like kind of a slow wake up, like when a radio alarm wakes you up, if anyone's very old and used to have a radio alarm clock, when the like, if you actually tuned it to a radio station and like, it's like, it kind of slowly brings you out of sleep. But the mumbling in my room, as I tuned in, waking up, it sounds like someone speaking in Spanish at the foot of my bed. Now, I don't know Spanish, but I can recognize it. So I don't know why. I think it's because I had been with a bunch of friends in Oregon over the weekend, but I assume immediately it's my guy friends playing a prank on me. And so I say, or try to say, shut up, but I'm paralyzed with sleep. So it comes up, and I thought that was so funny, and I giggled. I started giggling. And as I'm like, to myself, all of a sudden, I feel such immense pressure on me. Like those old-timey gravitron machines at the fair, you know, that spin you around. I felt that kind of pressure pushing me into the bed, and I thought, oh, fuck, something's in here. And I like buried my head in the pillow and thought, okay, fight or flight. So I gave myself like a moment and then sat up and screamed, hey!
Hell yeah, dude.
I didn't know what else to do. And then the weirdest, like it was atmospheric shift, like the room, like the air, because I was feeling the pressure, and then like I get up and scream, and then all of a sudden it's like the air changed, and I was like, oh my God, what was that? And I get up and I don't know what to do, so I call my mother, because I'm not 30 yet, just shy of. So I call my mom, who's in Louisiana, so it was like 5 a.m. in LA, so a little after, it was like, 7 there, and she immediately was like, what's wrong? And I was like, I don't know, I just had this weird thing happen, and I explained it to her, and she goes, well, you have to get holy water. First instinct, very Catholic. We all grew up Catholic. And I was like, I don't know, I feel like it's okay. I was like, hey, and it left, and I feel like I'm in control, and I got this, it's my apartment. So, and it's so weird though, in that moment, it started pouring down raining, and I was like, huh. Weird, because it had been the first time I'd seen rain in LA, and not many since then. But I just thought it was strange. I was like, I don't know if that has something to do with it, if there was like some like conduit or whatever. So anyway, I'm up for the day. I'm working in Culver City at like a temp job. So I drive, that's very far, guys. Just note that, Beechwood to Culver City. So I go to work, and I tell one person at work, because I don't really know people, and he was like, I wouldn't tell anyone else that story. You sound crazy. And I was like, okay, whatever. So I get home late because of traffic, and I'm getting ready for bed that night, and I remember so specifically, it's 2011, I have an iPhone 3. And it's at like 30% charge. So I plug it in, and I say out loud, you better not wake me up tonight.
Oh, man.
And so I go to bed. Nothing happens because he didn't, because I told him not to. Right. Because it's my apartment, I'm in charge. And in the morning, I'm waking up, my alarm didn't go off, and it's later than normal because the sun is coming in through the window in a different way, and I was like, oh shit, did I oversleep? So I look at my phone is turned off. And I turn it on, and it's at 100% charge. And guys, the iPhone, I just want to say this, the iPhone doesn't do that. Even if it dies, if it's plugged in, it reboots itself. So like, I was like, oh, okay, I'm not talking to this mother. I don't like him. I don't like the way he plays with me. I'm not doing this again. So I just decided I'm ignoring him from here on out. But then a few more things happen while I'm there. I had a friend visit a few months later, and I came in late one night, and he like was in the living room sleeping, and he pops up and he's like, can I use your bathroom? I was like, yeah, you could have always used my bathroom. But it was like an ensuite, so he like wanted me to escort him in there or something. And he'd been staying there for days at that point. So, and then his last night, he was like, I didn't want to tell you this because I didn't know what to say, but there was a man in your room. And I was like, oh yeah, I had actually thought the man was back, but I was like, I'm not talking to him. So I could like feel him. I felt him. I was like, he's at the foot of my bed again and I'm not doing this. And Brian was like, no, Marcy was like a real guy in your room. I didn't see him, but there was a guy in there. And I was like, no, it's the man. And we don't talk to him. But Brian didn't believe me because he was a skeptic. And then I have to say a few more things about this place. I was new to LA. And every morning I would wake up and all the cabinets would be open in the kitchen. And this is an old place. It had those like clasp cabinets that would have like two little roll things that kind of catch the clasp. And I was like, these fucking earthquakes, man. Must be happening. I was like, it must be happening every night there's an earthquake. So the cabinets would be open a lot. I eventually moved out, but two of my very good friends moved in after me. And they would have experiences with the cabinets opening as well. Also, John said that he was in my room and the door would be locked sometimes when he would wake up. Once a glass flew off his desk. Nicole saw a man standing in the living room with his arms crossed. He was in a white shirt. One night they were up late being very funny, they said. They said they were being so funny. And they heard clapping because they were being so funny. They were being so, I should say it's John Milheiser and Nicole Byer. They were being so funny, he was clapping for them. And then, they eventually moved out, but they had a dog walker of theirs, had an experience there. They moved out. Another friend moved in. It's a good price. It was a good price apartment, guys, because it's haunted. And he was like, I don't believe in ghosts, but my roommate is seeing shadow people. And eventually he met one of his neighbors who said in the 80s, he lived there for a bit. And when he got the place, it was like a hoarder situation, or like, it just looked like it was drugs and stuff, or like drug paraphernalia left behind. And on the wall, in the smaller room, a child's drawing, or drawings all over the wall of like people crying and stuff. So I guess it had bad vibes. And this is short little follow-up to this, guys. I love mental health and I have a psychiatrist. I'm on medication. And one day she asked me like what my podcast was about, and I was like, is it ghost stories? It's just ghost stories. And she was like, do you believe in ghosts? And I was like, okay, here it comes. Gonna get locked up. And I was like, well, I really enjoy it. And I was just like pussyfooting around. And then she's like, have you had an experience with a ghost? And I was like, well, maybe. In my old apartment on Beechwood. And she goes, oh my God, I live on Beechwood. I have a ghost in my house. So Beechwood is a spooky place, guys. And that's that.
Woo! Yeah.
Questions?
When you said that you woke up and you spoke out of the corner of your mouth, did you feel like you had sleep paralysis?
Yeah, and I've never had that before. But my body was. It was the only thing that matters. My mouth was paralyzed. My most important fight tool.
And did you ever attempt to look up any history of the apartment or anything like that? Of a Beechwood in general? Sounds like
there is a lot of, like a woman jumped to her death off the Hollywood sign,
Oh, yeah.
Just so much has happened there. I mean, when I first lived there, and it was so scary because Sarah wasn't around much, they'd found like a head and hands up canyon.
They did. Yeah.
And I was like, I didn't realize someone could just come take your head and hands. Like, it was like...
Maybe that was the clapping.
That's the clapping. Yeah.
Sorry.
And also, that was a lover's quarrel. Not a quarrel, I guess. Someone
won.
Yeah, someone won a big
By the way, we have two people in the house who encountered the ghost of the woman who jumped off the Hollywood sign a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't think that story's being told tonight, but...
That's one of my favorite Hollywood stories.
Spooky.
It was shocking.
Oh, my goodness. I need to hear it.
The dog who found the head, the name was Indiana Bones.
That's...
What?
I remember reading that in the article about it. I was like, that's the funniest thing.
But do you know what's why I named my cat that is bad? I named her Honey because I think your animals become what you name them. So I wanted her to become sweet, and it hasn't happened yet. But yeah.
Okay.
Indiana Bones. He's a discover.
Indiana Bones is going to discover bones.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It was crazy that you left out the fact that every morning when you woke up, all of the cupboards would be open.
It's because I didn't think of it as paranormal. And it's like, I've had a few other experiences, and every time they happen, I think someone's being very annoying. Yeah. Like, I never think, this is a ghost happening. I'm like, some person's bothering me right now, or an earthquake.
So you don't get like a funny feeling.
It's a good title for a podcast, right?
It is. I'm just going to say it. So you don't get a funny feeling when these things happen? You don't get like a sort of... you said the air changed.
The air changed, but like it wasn't until after I was in the middle of it that I realized it. Now, I've had other experiences where I'm like out of my space that I was a PA on the movie Seven Psychopaths, and we shot in a lot of weird locations. And my job was to like go up and like find a location for the producers to set up for the day. And we were in an abandoned hospital, and I was there like before sunrise, and I went up to the second floor of this hospital, and I started having a panic attack immediately, and then I just ran down, and I was like, okay, I'm fine. Something's up there though. So I can be sensitive to energy in that way. And then we had stuff happening all day long with machines that didn't exist, beeping, like heart monitors and stuff.
Oh, I love that.
And like we kept like this poor PA who was supposed to lock up the third floor kept getting in trouble, and he's like, no one's up here, there shouldn't be noise. Like, so, but I definitely felt it there. But I think because I'm like, it ain't happening in my house, I didn't even think of it, you know?
It's so weird, the machine thing. It's so hard to, like, where is that coming from? There's a place on Sunset called the House on Sunset. It's a very old historic building. My wife used to manage it for events and stuff. And Orson Welles had the penthouse.
Oh, cool.
And when they acquired the building, no one could find the key to that room.
Oh, cool.
And they would, all day long, they'd hear like an old phone ringing.
Oh, that's so
And they're
cool.
like, there's no phone in there. Like, it's not possible that there's a phone in there.
Yeah. I guess it's like residual, maybe? Or,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think we can know. Anyone who's like, this is what it is, it's like, okay, maybe. Yeah.
Right.
But I don't know that we get to know that in our short little lifetimes here.
We're certainly not going to solve it right now.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, it was interesting to know that it seemed like a place where some sadness had happened before. Also, it flooded a lot, which was weird.
It did.
They had
Interesting.
weird water stuff going on.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Water stuff, that's spooky.
But you know,
Water's a conduit,
water's
man.
spooky. That's why I thought it was a conduit. I was like, the rain bring in a ghost. But I think he was just, I don't know. He didn't like me.
Water. Yeah, holy water. Well, Marcy, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Gilbert, come on up.
10 years ago, on a cold, dark night, someone was killed
Whatever you
beneath
like.
the town hall lights.
Tyler, just walk
There were few.
Take the entire
on the whole
thing.
thing.
Pull this out like Freddie Mercury.
Yeah, totally.
Hell yeah.
Hi, I'm Gilbert. Do I just say it?
Yeah, go ahead.
So my story happened in 2019. It was on my first trip to Japan, on the first day that I was there, and I've always believed in stuff. When I was a little kid, my mom worked the night shift at the LA County emergency room, and she would have these like insanely depressive bouts when we were really young. So like she would be gone from like 5 p.m. to like 7 a.m. And there was this period of time where she was like really having this is not my story, but she was, I guess it kind of like affected the way that I accept things. And she was having this really, really hard time, and it was really rough. And like we had to go live somewhere else, and we had to like come back. And she said that she she was just like fine one day. And she said that she was in a grocery store and somebody came up to her and was like, wow, so you're just surrounded by death all the time. And she was like buying cereal, like, and they were like, I remove spirits that attach onto people, and I don't know anything about you, but like, fuck, and so she said that she was like, okay, and went and met with this person, and she said that this person just had like made her feel 100 pounds lighter, and she just went and talked to this person. This person did not know that she worked, the graveyard shift in the emergency room and had just dealt with, death constantly. That was her like resting state. So anyways, I had, just like but this is 2019. So at this time I had 4 years sober. And there was like, before I had gotten sober, because of this experience that my mom had, there were all these places I was like, I'm not gonna go there. I'd have like a job, they'd be like, we wanna hire you for this thing. It's like 4 months in New Orleans. And I'm like, dude, no way. Like, I am such an empty vessel that like there's something is going to like take residence. Yeah. And so I always kind of had this feeling. And then when we, I guess it's just a belief, but so I went to Japan, and it was my first time there, and Japan is like the land of like spooky shit that you don't understand, and so maybe I was like ready for, I don't know, but we got there, and I went with like a new girlfriend and her band, and they were on tour, so it's like it's really difficult to kind of go and tour Japan. So there's a lot of infrastructure and a lot of stuff, and they take care of everything. And they were telling us about how amazing this hotel is that everyone stays at, and it's this like massive mall in Shibuya, and they had become like pretty popular there. So when we got there, the people were like, that like classic like big in Japan thing, like there was like people waiting at the airport, and then people like chasing the car, and they were like, we put you in a different hotel, not the one that everyone stays at. This one's like a little out of the way, but it's just for tonight. I'm like, oh, okay, sure. And so when we got there was this like, this is just the day leading up to it. So I guess it's just like I was feeling really crazy. But when we got there was this like really angry, like drunk guy in the lobby who was just like skulking. And like, we got out of the car and he just looked at me. And he was like, I was like, all right, cool. So then we like get into the elevator, and he like holds the door and like jumps in with us. And she'd already like pushed the button on our floor, and I was like, fuck, I didn't want this guy to like know where our room was. And so we get off and we go into our room, and then like for the next hour, there was just this like insanely angry, did nothing, never communicated whatsoever before this insanely angry Japanese guy screaming, come out right now, come out, get out here. Like, and I was like, all right. And I was, at the time, this is like really weird. This isn't as bad as it sounds, but I was like fighting like a 3-year prison sentence for bringing a gun to an airport, which sounds a lot worse than it actually was.
Yeah,
like,
it does.
It sounds really bad when you say it. And all my friends make fun of me, but what happened was I had like,
Thank God.
I had legally bought a gun that was like a World War I era gun,
Okay, now this
like
is better.
from an auction. And I had bought it, and it was like got it shipped to California, and it's like registered perfectly. And we were using it to like film something, and we went to Utah and we were shooting. And at the time, I was like staying in New York, so we went from California to Utah to New York before coming back to California. And when you bring a gun to the airport, if you want to do it the right way, you lock it, you put a trigger lock on it, you have no bullets whatsoever anywhere near anything. You lock it and you put a TSA lock on the case, you go up to the check-in, there's like signs, they say, if you have a firearm. And you like hand it to them and you go, hey, I'm checking a firearm, it's in here, da-da-da-da-da. You have your like card and you give it to them and they give it to you on the other end at a different counter. Not where like, it doesn't just like come out on the conveyor belt, but, so I went to Utah, we filmed this thing, we had this gun, it was like a German Luger from World War I, it was cool as hell. And then I went to New York and I, did the whole TSA, checked it. They gave it to me. I went to the house. We did the stuff. And then when I was coming back, I was like, hi, I have a firearm. I need to check it. And so I gave it to them. They were like, is this yours? I was like, yeah. It's just, it's got the TSA lock. And then they're like, this is yours? I was like, yeah. And they just arrested me on the spot, took me to jail. And I was like, wait, what the fuck? Like, this is what I'm supposed to do. And they're like, no, not here. Once we handed it to you in New York, it became an illegal firearm. And I was like, what? You didn't tell me?
You gotta say that.
Keep it. I don't want,
God.
And they're like, it's mandatory 3 years in prison. I was like,
What?
Yeah, and then I had to sit in jail, waiting in New York, and it was awful. So at this time, I was going back to New York once a month because I would have to. They let you out, you bail yourself out or whatever, and then they're like, you got to come back to court, and I would come back and be like, okay, they're gonna send me to prison, I guess. This is crazy. And then I had to go back 10 times, and while this was happening, I had this prison sentence thing, I was hey, this is a legal firearm, it's in California, and the the public defender guy who was like, yeah, this is how they make money, they just arrest people, and
I said, whatever you do, don't get into a fight with a guy in Japan.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's so. I'm
Do
thinking,
not answer your door if
and
someone's
also,
yelling.
you're in another country. You're what are the rules about fighting here? Can I you know what I mean? Okay, if I fight this guy, what happens? New York jail was scary. Japan jail felt this was a scary thing, So we're there, and this guy's yelling through the door, and I'm like, all right, I can't walk out. I'm gonna fight this guy. What do I do? And I'm like, okay, you open the door, and I'm gonna hit this guy. And then she's like, no, you'll go to jail, for sure. You'll be in. And they have this thing. I'm like, fuck. Okay, so we just are in the room, and we're waiting it out. And then I was in the shower, and I looked down, and I had really old skin and really delicate, it was paper, and I had these breasts, and they were really saggy, and I kept thinking about how I used to be able to show them off. I don't know. It was I have no idea how to still it's been 6 years, and I don't understand how to explain that I could feel all of this change in my body, and I was thinking about my grandkids, and I was and it wasn't weird. It was just normal. I was just yeah, oh man, my breasts used to look so good. And then I went and I turned the shower off, and I opened the thing, and I grabbed the towel, and it was just nothing. I walked out, and the mirror was foggy, and walked out into the middle of the room, and I was standing in the middle of the room in this towel, and it was the same room, but it was not. There was not the same stuff, you know what I mean? And Arrow wasn't there. I was just I wasn't even thinking about any of that. But looking back, I think oh, this was a different space, but it was the same space. And then I felt I was dying, and then I just hit the ground with my face and woke up, and it was 3 o'clock in the morning. I was laying in bed. I had no idea how I got there, and I was just crying. I cried for 2 hours straight, and just was freaking out. And my girlfriend was next to me, and she was like, what's going on? I was like, and I was talking about my breasts, and I was talking about my kids, and she was like, what the fuck is going on? And she's still dude, that's the weirdest shit I've ever she's ever experienced. And it still makes me feel super weird. I don't know how to explain. I still feel really fucked up when I think about it. But I just we had a great trip, and she had a great tour, and played shows, and I didn't go to jail, and the gun stuff cleared itself up. I just had to go back to New York a bunch of times to fight it, and that was over. And I've never had any other experiences like that or anything even remotely similar. and I've never like been an old lady again or thought of, I don't know, but it was a weird experience. And you like talk to people about, you're like, yeah, so something super weird happened when we were in Japan, and people are like, it's a ghost thing, and you're like, is that a ghost thing? Like what? I'm not like going crazy or you know, and they're like, no, that's definitely like a ghost thing, and like. And then your other friends are like, man, you're an old lady. And you're like, no, I'm not. Like, okay, dude, you're an old Japanese lady. And I'm like, no, I'm not. But anyways, I told Daniel that story, and he was like, all right, well, you have to come and tell that one, because it was really weird. That's the whole, I don't know if I even remember what I said. But
That's wild.
Yeah,
that's so. Now, your girlfriend wasn't there. She was in another hotel. Like she wasn't.
no,
with
she
you
was staying. She was with me. In
She
the
was
room.
with you when that happened?
No, like she didn't exist. Like I don't know how to explain. Like,
But when you woke up, was she next to
she was in
you?
the bed next
She
to me.
was,
Yeah.
and
I had gone to bed. We had gone. I don't remember.
Did she
even-
remember
Did
you
she
come-
realize like you acting? Did she think you were acting strange at all?
No.
She thought you were acting completely.
No,
normal?
I asked her what happened with that dude, and she was like, "Oh, he like left, and we went to bed, and we were like, I was like, oh, cool.
You participated in going to bed with her?
Yeah. Yeah.
Did she remember you like talking to her? Did you say goodnight? I love you.
No, it was never. Honestly, like, I never really like went crazy. Like, what was going on? Because I was so like. I was like, I would like start crying randomly for like the next like 2 days, like the first like 2 days on the tour. I'd be like, yeah, that was just.
But not even later. You didn't go. You're still 6 years later. You haven't thought to ask about what her experience of that evening was. Okay.
Yeah, I just like, because every time I think about it, like I feel really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
If that makes sense, you know, like
Yeah.
I
You don't
feel
wanna- you don't
super
wanna revisit
uncomfortable.
it, yeah.
No, it's not even that. I just feel like weird. Like,
Do you when you both times you've told this story, the guy in the hallways has been a really big part of it, but he doesn't have any direct connection to the haunting experience. But what do you think? Why is that an important part of the story to you?
I mean, it's because it's like I don't know. Contextually, it's my entire experience there
that night, yeah.
until like we were at the airport, we went to the hotel, this thing happened, and then like I woke up screaming.
And
you know?
you had just arrived in Japan?
Yeah. We were coming from the airport
I wonder if there's something about the duress
of travel or
the jet lag mixed with you're in the shower knowing that there's a maniac in the hallway, that you were just vulnerable.
I hadn't taken a shower when I woke up. Like I didn't know how to use the bathroom.
you never
in
took a
Japan.
shower?
Yeah, no.
Oh, I didn't realize
Yeah,
that.
no, I just like was standing at the door, and then I was like looking at my body.
Did you, when you were thinking about like, how your body used to be different and your grandkids, do you remember, were you thinking with English words?
It was like it felt like my brain, if that makes sense. Like it felt like my consciousness in my head, if that makes sense. Like it wasn't like.
But you didn't hear like Japanese.
No,
Yeah.
it was like it wasn't like subtitles or.
But
anything.
nor did
Yeah.
you hear English.
No, it was just like I just remember looking, and it was just like
concepts. It was-
like spiritual, if that makes sense, you know?
That angry, it feels like that angry dude had something
Some
to do
weird-
with it. Like, that's so strange.
No, yeah, it's like so part of the story, but also like I don't know if
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe
it was
he was
weird.
like, "You're my grandma."
He's like,
Come on! Like he's all
fucking
hammered
guy.
and just like, "That's my
He's like,
grandma,
that's what
dude."
he was saying in Japanese that I don't know. He's like, fucking grandma.
Grandma, I love you. Come on, Grandma. Think of your grandkids. But it feels too much
It's-
of a
yeah.
coincidence
Yeah.
that kind of
Also, like-
energy was coming at
Yeah, that's
you.
really interesting.
I have never had another negative
Yeah.
experience with a person in Japan. I've been multiple times.
Yeah.
Like had only amazing experiences with strangers on the street. So sick. The next morning I was like, I don't know if I like Japan, you guys. Like, yeah. And then it was just an amazing trip. It was a great tour. We toured the whole country, and yeah, it was awesome. Been back multiple.
I don't know if this has to do with the ghost, but maybe it does. Why didn't you just call downstairs about the guy?
We did.
Oh.
We did. Yeah. Right when we got up there, we were like, "Hey, there's this guy," and they were like, "Yeah, he's like bothering people." We were like, oh, okay.
They were of no help.
Yeah. It was not. Yeah. Right when we got up there, before I was like, "I'm fighting this guy." We were like, "All right, well, let's see like what the
Okay,
yeah."
I get it. Right. So 1 minute you're with the guy, and then the next minute you just are inexplicably in the shower.
Yeah.
You don't remember getting in the shower.
No, I don't. Wow. Yeah. Wow. I'm like on like none of that stuff. I just remember looking down and being like aware of the
Yeah.
I don't know.
Was
how
it
to
a
explain
fast experience? Do you feel like there was a time period?
Yeah, well, I was in the shower for a while. Yeah, I was
For
in
a
the shower
while,
for a
like,
while.
this was
yeah,
happening
like
to
touching
you.
my arms and like my hands, and I remember exactly what it all looked like.
Oh my
and,
God.
You know what I mean? Like my pubes and my whole I remember the whole body.
Wow.
And just being like, I don't know, like so sad that it was gone or going or like something. I don't know. It was super weird.
Yeah, that is so.
I still
palpable,
feel
though,
sad
yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
Like I still feel sad, like this weird, like sad. I don't know how to explain, like this like sadness that I feel when I like picture it.
It does. It sounds like you were just taken over.
Yeah,
And
Even
that-
when like
yeah.
the second you started talking about it, I felt sad.
it's weird. It's a really. It was like a pressing sadness, like over like whole, and then like hit the fucking carpet hard and woke up.
It's a
Screaming too.
It's a
like,
good lesson. Like having had a lot of these experiences early on, I would just get the hell out of there, and then later I'd be like, "Why didn't I
Yeah.
ask more questions?"
Yeah.
So now when these things happen, I'm like Sherlock Holmes. I'm like,
Yeah.
I get
Yeah.
every detail that I can
Yeah.
gather up. But like if you could go back in time, I would want you to go to the front desk and say like, "I know this is kind of a weird question, but did anyone die in that room?"
Yeah.
Or
I don't think they would tell me.
Yeah, no, they would.
They'd be like,
Well, Gilbert, thank you so much.
yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks, awesome. Whoa.
That's crazy.
And that concludes part one of our Ghost Story Slam, recorded live at the Philosophical Research Society in Los Angeles, California. Be sure to tune in for part two. I'm Daniel Noah. You're listening to SpectreVision Radio. Happy Halloween.